Hello, my lawyer has informed me that before the start of this video I must read the following statement. For legal reasons, and so Mickey Mouse doesn't shoot off my kneecaps as I sleep tonight, this video is a joke. Buongiorno everyone, you may remember me from such classics as that chaotic Captain Marvel video and the one with the gay meerkats. Today, as you can tell by my incredible outfit and also the title of this video, I will be talking about the new Disney movie, Luca, and how absolutely gay it was. So here's the thing, when the trailer for this movie came out, I made a TikTok about how gay it was, and I feel extremely vindicated because I literally have finished watching this movie about 10 minutes ago, and all I've done since is sent out some text messages to friends being like, I really just want to make a chaotic video about this. Should I do that? To give them time to tell me, no, Rowan, you're meant to be on holiday. This isn't your house. You're in an Airbnb. You're meant to be relaxing. None of them have replied yet, so I've started recording, we're making the video. Now, I already know there are going to be people who have clicked on this video specifically to hate on it, who have seen the title and are like, you shouldn't have gay people in children's media, that's wrong. Get out of here, this video isn't for you. You can watch one of my other videos justifying how that's like an incorrect opinion to hold. I can't be bothered with this video trying to justify it. We're just gonna go for it. Okay, so here's the thing, start off with. I'm like in this wheelie chair, it's very chaotic. I feel like this is the energy this video is going to have. I also know that some people are going to be like, actually the writers and directors of this movie have come out to say that it specifically isn't meant to be a queer story. I have a secret for you. If you are a writer or a director of a film and so many people have commented on the apparent queer subtext of your movie that you have to come out and make a statement saying actually it isn't gay, it means it's gay. Like, this isn't even a point that I have on my list, but like, I'm not being funny, it's about mermaids, dude. I know they're not technically mermaids, they're sea monsters, but like, whatever. You cannot be making a movie about some like gay little mermaid boys who live on the Italian Riviera, right? And not expect and make them gay and not expect people to like notice it. You just can't. Also, here's another secret. It doesn't matter what the writers say. It doesn't matter what the director says because the author's dead, baby, right? We make the rules. If we see it and we can justify it, it's there. Welcome to English Lit 101, gang. Also, please appreciate I added lots of blush across my nose and cheeks because I'm getting into character. So here's the thing, this movie explored queerness in 3 different ways, right? So the first way was self-discovery, the second way is the relationship with queer people and their families, and the third way is the relationship between queer people and society. And you might be like, Rowan, what, you're meant to be doing a slightly unhinged video. Why are you suddenly breaking it into different sections? It's because I've never been relaxed for a day in my life, and as I was watching, I was making notes. So number 1, let's talk about self-discovery, right? So this element is basically, Luca is the one who is kind of discovering himself, okay? And what happens is he comes out of the ocean, he becomes a little human boy, and he makes friends with Alberto, right? His self-discovery is very much through the lens of this boy Alberto, who is more confident than him. He's really cool, he's really like knowledgeable, and Luca has a crush, basically. You know what? Let's talk about Silencio Bruno. See, I'm sorry, it's the only time I'm going to do an accent in this whole video, I apologize. Because that whole thing, it's like, hey, if you have a little voice in your head that's telling you no, that's telling you not to try things, that's telling you to like be safe in your little bubble that you've been growing up in, just say silence, Bruno. Just say no, we're gonna try new things, we're going to put ourselves out there, okay? So Bruno in this situation, right, is like a manifestation of heteronormativity. It's a manifestation of like the ways in which as a young queer person you are told how to act, how to be, and that there is a pressure inside you, right, an internalized homophobia that tells you, you cannot do that, you cannot be that. And by saying like silence Bruno, you allow yourself to experience these things, you allow yourself to try, put yourself into, you know, situations that traditionally you're told you're not allowed to be in. Oftentimes in media, queer young people are described as like being the outsider, stuff like that, like in kind of coy terms. In this movie, they use the term underdogs because I'm also fully, this isn't the point of this like video, but I'm also fully aware of the fact that Julia is a lesbian. Okay, so I've just realized that beeping is the fire alarm in this Airbnb whose batteries have run out. So the fire alarm is also going to be adding to the chaos. We're just going to have to deal with it. Okay, I'm feeling the need to pace. Basically, the relationship between Luca and Alberto is the like center point of his self-discovery, okay? So he's having this crush for the first time, clearly. The relationship between them is really very clearly kind of like cute, innocent childhood crush romance coded, right? So let's talk about some elements of it, okay? First of all, let's talk about Alberto's jealousy for a second, because oh my God, he is so obviously jealous of Luca's friendship with this girl, right? He is constantly kind of like annoyed and frustrated and has that anger that like kids have when they are jealous, but they don't really understand why they're feeling that way. Like, it was so obviously to me the idea of like a boy who has a crush and is annoyed at his crush hanging out and seeming to like maybe be interested in someone else, but he can't really necessarily articulate that, which goes like double, triple for queer people who like aren't meant to be feeling those feelings anyway as well. The whole storyline between these two boys is that they want to buy a Vespa and run away together. They want to run away into the Italian countryside together on the back of their one Vespa. They're not even springing for two Vespas. They're not going one each. They want to go on one Vespa. With Alberto, right, we also have this whole thing where he has been abandoned by his father, okay? Like, he is functionally the role of like the queer character who's been rejected by his family and is trying to keep it from everyone. He's been on his own for so long, this like actual child, that he like has given up doing the tallies on the wall, right? He's just kind of marking off the days, but he's saying he's not even counting anymore because that's how long it's been since he's seen his family. And the idea of like his family thinking they'll be better off without him is fucking heartbreaking. And he says to Luca, this is exactly what he says to Luca. He says, "You're not like me, you're the good kid, I'm the one that ruins everything," right? And this is the point at which Luca is still kind of denying his sea monsterness to everyone else, aka denying his queerness to everyone else, whereas Alberto has like outed himself as a sea monster. And so, just like, are you picking up what I'm putting down here? There are also so many moments that are like so cute and kind of romance coded in the way that you would do them in like films where you're explicitly trying to show a romantic relationship. The bit at the end with a sort of big gesture where Alberto comes with the umbrella and says, again, I'm reading from my notes here because I want to get the quote exactly right, "Stay right there, I'm coming for you," like the big hero saves the day moment. Adorable. And then finally, we have their goodbye scene at the train station at the end of the movie. Are you kidding me? Luke had been sad to see his friend go to school, but like he wasn't weeping and sobbing about it, right? And then him and Alberto have this like conversation in which it becomes clear him and Alberto are going to be separated, and suddenly that boy is a mess. Like, this clearly is a different kind of a level of friendship than what he has with this girl. They're saying shit to each other like, "I can't do this without you, you're never without me." Like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? This is adorable. These two boys holding hands until the last second and like running after the train and crying as soon as they're out of eye shot of each other. Are you serious? Okay, and here's something else. Here's something else that I think is so interesting about this, right? So you have Luca, and Luca's storyline is all about like coming to terms with his identity, with being himself, all this kind of stuff, with his queerness. And then Alberto's storyline is all about feeling abandoned by your actual biological family and having to find another kind of family. And so his ending, it totally makes sense that he doesn't go to school with the others, right? That the ending isn't them like getting together or kissing or whatever. One, because obviously Disney is homophobic, sorry Mickey, and they wouldn't let it happen. But two, because actually Alberto's storyline, the conclusion of his storyline, it makes total sense for it to be that he's gonna stay with Massimo, right? That he has been adopted, that he has been like supported and accepted by this father figure, the one who is missing from his life, right? Okay, so that's the first thing, your sense of self-discovery. Now we're going to talk about the second thing, which is the acceptance from society, right? So society in this case is the town, right? The port town with all of the people. So in this port town, sea monsters are evil, they are feared, they are hated, okay? Metaphorically, we're talking about homophobia, right? We literally have the main bully saying like, "You two don't belong here, get out of my town." And like, he's saying stuff like this before they've ever even come out to him. It's kind of this angle of like, before they've even come out to themselves, they are being bullied for being gay, right? Before someone even knows that they're gay, they somehow know that they're gay and they get bullied for it. Like, I feel like I'm not the only one that had that experience in school. The bully guy literally says this line, okay? "We're afraid of you. Everyone is horrified and disgusted by you because you are monsters." There was a part of me that I was like, ouch. Fucking ouch. Like, this is really, like, this is not the movie that as a queer kid I'm gonna go to escape. This is a movie where I'm like, wow, why don't you just make me sad, okay? Because that's what that's doing to me. There is no escapism here, it's just my reality. My favorite bit of this whole thing is that the townspeople who hated sea monsters before, they just stopped hating sea monsters. Not when they prove themselves to be like not monsters at all, but when they win a race. It's like, hey, wouldn't it be a good world if homophobia could be cured by like, I just had to win a race that was sponsored by a pasta company and then it will be gone. Wouldn't that be great? Also that there are these two sea monster ladies, aka two elderly lesbians, that out themselves, like they come out as sea monsters at the end once they see the young people being accepted, and I'm like, that feels very queer to me too. It doesn't take a genius to look at this story and be like, oh yeah, there's a town full of people who hate this secret thing that you are like hiding about yourself as a young person. It's not rocket science, people, okay? It's gay science. Also, the big like climactic moment of the entire movie is Luca doing a slow motion rescue scene of this boy he has a crush on and like outing himself at the same time, right? We have this whole story. I'm going to talk about the outing thing in a second, but we have this basically whole storyline that we see all of the time in queer media of like gay person who is in the closet is put in a position where they have the choice whether they want to come out or not, and they don't. But then not only that, they double down on like a kind of homophobia to protect themselves, right? So it's like no one can suspect I'm gay if I'm homophobic at the same time. And oftentimes they'll do it by betraying someone who trusted them, who has like been outed or comes out as gay first, and instead of like following suit and supporting them, actively becomes like even more homophobic to cover it up. And this is no exception, except apparently they're not gay, they're just sea monsters. We've heard that before, Mickey. Let's talk about the outing scene, shall we? I say outing scene, it's not really an outing. I was convinced that Alberto was gonna out Luca in that scene, and I was getting really worried, but he doesn't. He ends up outing himself. Here's the thing. Oh, Jesus Christ. Every line in this movie that's about sea monsters, you literally could just change it to being queer and it would make complete and total sense. So there's this line where he says, I doubt your school would even accept sea monsters, right? The idea of like, oh, people like us welcome at your school. They probably wouldn't want us there. We probably wouldn't be safe there. Like all of these implications. And then he swims into the sea and outs himself. And then Luca, instead of not even outing himself as a sea monster, but even outing himself as like a sea monster supporter, even sea monster agnostic, someone with no opinions of sea monsters. Instead, he's like, sea monster! Like, he's actively scared, right? As a defense mechanism. And you're like, this is so sad, but also so relatable. It completely makes sense as the dark moment for that character, making this big mistake and like betraying his own sense of self that he's trying to develop through this whole movie, right? He's not ready to come out yet, but he's also overcompensates by being gay, fish, homophobic. There are so many chairs in this living room. Hang on. Let's do there's a piano stool. I'll sit on the piano stool for this third one. Oh my god, this is so much heavier than I thought, Jesus Christ. Okay, so this third way that there's like a queer reading, this is where it gets complicated, right? So like it's not a one-on-one queer metaphor in a lot of ways, because if the thing that makes you queer, right, is being a sea monster, then why are all of his family sea monsters? Like that doesn't quite work. So it kind of like you have to treat it as three separate things, right? You have to treat the self-identity thing as separate from the townsfolk and the society, as separate from the family reaction to him, right? His parents not understanding him is like huge. That's a big theme in any coming of age type movie, right? Your parents don't understand you, par for the course, that's kind of how it works. Either that or your parents are dead, right? Because otherwise they wouldn't let you go off and be the chosen one. They'd be like, do your homework, be inside by 9. So I cannot stress enough how his parents are going to send him away, right? That is the whole thing. His parents are going to send him away to live with his see-through uncle in like a remote part of the ocean. If that doesn't scream conversion therapy to you, I don't know what will. Like the parents are feeling disconnected from him, right? And that scares them. So like I think the mum literally says, it's like I don't even know who he is, right? This idea of like there's something different about him and I don't know what it is and I don't know who he is, and like that is very scary for parents, right? But it's also scary for parents to see their kids going into a situation that they feel like could be dangerous, right? Which I think is a very interesting and nuanced portrayal of parents of queer kids, right? That there is something in between. I support you fully, everything's great, and I hate you, I'm homophobic, get out of my house. And it's this middle ground of like, hey, I love you, you're amazing, but I'm still very scared for you, I'm still really worried. Potentially that might come out as being controlling, wanting, you know, saying you want the best for them and not letting them have queer friends, all that kind of jazz, right? And we can see that happening here, right? We can see the metaphors, ding, 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 ding. Again, it's a very mixed metaphor situation because the whole like sea monster thing is going on at the same time. But you can see where I'm going with this, right? There's this exchange between the two of them at the end where one of them is like, we can't let him stay in this world, can we? And the other one replies with, some people, they'll never accept him, but some will. And it's like, hey, I am allowing my child to go out into the world as a queer person, as someone who is different, as someone who some people may still hate, but other people will accept. And now I've seen that acceptance, I feel more comfortable letting him go. I don't need to send him to conversion therapy with like see-through Uncle Jeff anymore. Can we see how these three different kinds of storyline, right, are telling these three elements of the queer experience in such an interesting way, even if they didn't mean to? I dare you to watch this movie, right? And just open yourself up to the possibility, okay? Just in your head, just watch it with the idea of like, they were trying to make this a gay metaphor. Just watch it like that. And you will see everything I have seen with these two eyes, okay? you will see it. What is so frustrating to me is the fact that it's not real, right? Okay, I made this video and I've said it's real and I've said they're queer and blah, 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 blah. And like, here's the thing, if there was any justice in the world, they would be. But there isn't any justice in the world, so they're not. There was the perfect opportunity. This was such a brilliant storyline that absolutely could have had queerness in there. It would have taken almost nothing at all for them to have confirmed these two boys had a crush on each other whatsoever. It just would have worked, okay? You know what? I hate to bring it back to, I don't hate to bring it back to, I love to bring it back to Captain Marvel, but it's exactly the same as that video, right? I said in that video, it would have actually not taken anything away from the storyline for them to have had Maria and Carol be a couple. It would have added to the storyline. And I think that you cannot deny that it would have added to this story to have had these two boys explicitly have a crush on each other, right? Can you just think about the emotional impact and pathos of the idea of this, like, Alberto being abandoned? Like, we never get an explanation as to why he's been abandoned by his father, right? We never get that explanation in this movie, but it's so implied with this queer subtext what it is, but we never allow it to be explored, okay? What's going on there? Can you think about the impact on like young queer people to see a Disney movie with these queer young people protagonists, right? Not some random fucking police officer like side character somewhere in a movie, right? But an actual child who they feel connected to, okay? Like a character that they can relate to. And that you allow that character to have a crush and it's totally okay. To have parents who are accepting they're just a bit protective, okay? To have another character, to have multiple queer characters in one, incredible. To have another one who is learning that actually you don't necessarily have to have acceptance from your biological family, but having it from this kind of fan family instead is just as valuable. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I am sweating. I'm sweating. I'm so worked up about this. Also, I'm recording this on my phone. I can see people have been messaging me. You know, I said that I messaged people earlier. They have been replying while I've been filming and they are all in support. They all agree with me. In the comments, like, please tell me that we are not alone, right? That other people have seen this. Okay, please, because this is just... How did this happen in the year of our Lord 2021? And like, not only was nothing made explicit in the movie, but they are actively shutting down the idea that it can be read like this, right? There are statements from the writers / directors, I can't remember which, about the fact that it is like definitely not a gay movie. How in 2021 is this happening? Disney, what are you doing? If I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times, and I will say it again. I'm looking you directly into the eyes, okay? This is a message. It was a message for Marvel last time. It is a message for Disney this time, okay? Mr. Mouse, I don't care if you're gonna shoot my kneecaps off in my sleep, as I was warned by my extremely real lawyer earlier on today. Make it gay, you goddamn cowards. Thank you very much for watching. I'd like to give a special thank you for my patrons on Patreon for making videos like this possible. I was not planning on doing this video, obviously. I'm just so hyped up on gay ire right now. It just was flowing through, the spirit of queer media was flowing through me today. I hope you enjoyed this absolute piece of nonsense that I just created. I'm sure some people are going to be doing extremely well-informed and beautiful analysis of this movie. This was just utter nonsense and chaos, but I stand by every word of it.